here. Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we will be writing our first Pact smart contract. We will first write the contract and then interact with it in REPL. For this tutorial, we will be using the code editor on the left hand side of the Contracts tab in Chainweaver Web. This allows us to write a lot of lines of code at once before loading it into REPL or deploy it to the blockchain. First, we want to specify the namespace we want our contracts to be in. In Pact, a namespace is like a folder for your smart contract. These namespaces can have restrictions on who can deploy contracts in that namespace. So think of it like a folder for your contract with restrictions on who can add files to that folder. The default namespace is called free. This allows anyone to write contracts to this folder. Big projects and teams would have their own namespaces, which would make it easier for them to manage things, and people can trust the smart contracts in these namespaces are legitimately owned by the team that owns the namespace. For now, let's just use the free namespace. To do this, we write namespace free. Next, we want to create our keyset on the blockchain. We did this in the previous tutorial, so I won't explain it too much. Remember, to replace test-keyset with the name of the keyset you defined in the previous tutorial. In summary, code registers the keyset you made locally to the blockchain. You only have to add this to the smart contract the first time you deploy it, as after the first deployment, the blockchain will remember it. Next, let's define the module. Modules are what Pact calls the actual smart contract code that people can interact with. Let's start by typing. This creates a new module called test module. Note that you will need to change test module to something unique that doesn't exist on the blockchain. Otherwise, it will give you an error that the module name is taken. Test-keyset tells Pact the name of the keyset should be associated with this module and is the owner of this module. Remember to replace it with the name of the keyset you defined above. This is a test module, it's just a description of the module. Next, let's write some function, some code that we can call later from our website or wallet. To define the function, write this after this is a test module on a new line. Writing define tells Pact you are making a new function. You then write the function name, in this case hello world, and you tell it what inputs it can take. In this case, we tell it we want it to take an integer, which means that the input must be a whole number. We also specify that we want to reference this string in our code with the text some number. This may sound confusing, but it will make more sense while we look at the next line. There, we add 2 to whatever number the function receives. Next, we can interact with this contract. Let's load into REPL by clicking Load into REPL at the top right. Next, Let's call the add2 functions with some input. Remember that in Pact to run code, we need brackets. So let's type open and closing bracket. Next, let's specify the function we want to call. In Pact, to call functions stored on the blockchain, you must specify the namespace, the module name, and the function name, all separated by dots. Let's type this in. Next, let's specify the number to which we want to add to. Let's say 5. Press enter and we can see the output as 7. And that's it. Feel free to play around with this. In the next tutorial, we'll deploy this to the blockchain. Remember, if you have any questions, do drop by in KittyKad's Discord server. We have a programming channel for discussion. Otherwise, that's all for this tutorial. Remember to hit the thumbs up button, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.